back to when your kids were younger, what
Yeah.
did you and your wife teach them about money when they were younger, still living at home and growing up? What was your approach there?
Well, and at that time, I was just starting off this company, so we didn't really have a ton of money as a family, and so it was, I still talk to them about savings, and they've kind of seen the transition over time as my client base grew, but to learn how to budget is extremely important. And so that's something that we talked about, when we're buying things, you don't want to just throw it on credit card, have a goal, have a savings goal. I need to put away this much money so we can buy that. Um, Even if you do put it on credit card, be able to pay it off, if you want the points for air miles and stuff like that,
Right.
great. I don't have any problems with that, but you shouldn't be carrying that debt for a year. Because of that, a lot of our friends were going on vacations and doing that, and they were putting money on credit cards, and we just weren't. And so we were talking to the kids, and like, I understand you want to do that. We can drive somewhere, we can go to that, but we were kind of living within that budget that we
Hmm.
had set. And so both kids do know how to budget. So that's something we've talked to the kids about. You really do need to know that because, you pay all these bills and all of a sudden you realize you're shortchanged. Well, then what else do you have? Well, then you start dipping into those credit cards again because you got to pay for things like gas and groceries and everything else. And again, it's a vicious cycle. So that was something we really kind of told the kids. Um, we really wanted them to learn how to live within their means and budget that money. Also how to we had them involved in things like buying cars and buying a house because that's something I never knew how to do. And I didn't know about loans. I didn't know how those things did. I saw my dad buy a car, but they never talked to us about it. So it was kind of like learn by burn, and you made mistakes or at least I made mistakes when I buy cars. Uh, we talked to our kids about that.
So you're saying, so when you were buying, you and your wife were buying stuff, right? Cars, house, whatever,
Yeah.
you were involving the kids in that process just so they could learn about how that all worked from a money point of view. Is that my understanding
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
They would be, even though sometimes they were bored and they're kind of kids, so they were squirrely. But even
Sure.
when they were young, they would sit there. They knew how long it took. It took an hour or two to take care of the paperwork. Whether that's going to stick with them, they at least understood the concept that we're buying a car. This is how much we can afford. This is how much we're paying, and this is the person we're talking to now after we bought it from the salesman. Now we're talking to the finance manager or the finance guy. And so they're at least understanding the process, the concepts of how these things work. And so at least when they go to do it, there'll be less questions on that, hopefully.